My name is Cemal. I am the co-founder of Old Spike Roastery in Peckham. We roast coffee, not chicken, as most people think. And we've set up a coffee roastery which roasts amazing coffee from around the world. And we also provide jobs and housing for homeless people. So I was a commodity trader. I had a bit of a midlife crisis and went travelling and did something called the rocking chair test, where I looked back on my life as if I was 90 in a rocking chair and thinking about what I've achieved and what I've done and who I was as a person, and kind of realised what I was going to achieve if I continued going on that way would have been pretty soulless and empty. And on that same trip in Vietnam, we went through a place called Hoi An, where there's a silent tea house, and that's a tea house that's run by deaf and mute ladies. And I left and just said, I want to set up a silent tea house in Clapham, and then realised I didn't really like tea and I definitely don't like Clapham, so this isn't really going to work. And then the idea just really gradually developed, where we connected the idea of opening a coffee shop which also provided jobs for people that were homeless and continued the same social element, but also looked at a way of making it sustainable at the same time. Helping people, that was the reason we wanted to go down this avenue. And secondly, over time, we realised that in order to do that, we had to also make it sustainable for ourselves. So in that regard, it means that we've got flexibility in how we operate, when we operate, how we serve our customers and the kind of service that we provide. And it means that us and the other partners can also give more of a personalised service to our customers and really put part of ourselves into what we deliver. So I went to the School of Social Entrepreneurs, and I used it as a sign whether or not I should leave my previous job and go and start a whole new journey. And every day on the way to the school, I used to see a big issue seller called Lucy, and I just got a really wonderful feeling from her when speaking to her, even just buying the big issue or giving her some donations. I knew that Lucy was the first person I wanted to employ. And I spoke to Lucy. I asked her to come and sit with me and have a coffee, and the first thing she said was, "Me no speak English," and that wasn't really part of my business plan to start with. So we ended up using Google Translate app in order to communicate with her, and we really have a really deep connection. Just seeing Lucy at the end of the week just kind of give you a hug, and just her appreciation or her kind of happiness for working in the shop is just incredible. And part of what we do is to provide kind of external skills training. So if someone has a natural ability of painting, for example, or they really like to do art, we give them a graphic design training to help encourage that, so it becomes more of a marketable skill. So as part of that journey, we asked Lucy what she wanted to do and how she wanted to progress, and she said, "I just want to work here." And it was at that point, although it didn't really fit into our business plan, it really felt as though what we're offering isn't something that's kind of just a token service, it's something that's actually changing someone's life. Because we're a social enterprise, we're reinvesting our profits back into the purchase of our really exceptional beans. So they're specialty beans rather than commodity or fair trade beans. So we tend to pay over 4 or 5 times the cost of fair trade to really get fantastic tasting quality of coffee. And the other part of what we do is we reinvest that profit back into our staff and pay a London living wage. But the most important element of what we're doing is to make sure that the quality of our coffee is as good or better than what someone's tried before. I was personally earning much more money than what I was doing before. And I know that's not the same as for 99% of small businesses. Everyone's got their different reasons for doing it, but for setting up a social business, it was purely for our beneficiaries and the people that we're supporting and who we're helping as the main reason why we set the project up in the first place. That's what motivates me and what motivates the staff, and it's why we're here. And we do have other jobs and other businesses and other things that we focus on, but this is really where our heart is and what we try to keep focused on, and why we keep coming back every morning. There's literally nothing that could make me go back to. I've had other offers to go back to similar jobs and earn 10 times what I'd be earning here. But that fulfillment, that kind of connection to the business, connection to the community, your staff, the social good that we're doing, the respect to the product and the coffee that we're buying. I will never get that from sitting in front of a screen and just looking at kind of numbers going up and buying something and selling something that is completely impersonal to me. We've also just started a project with the Big Issue, which will open coffee vans around London, providing jobs and housing for homeless people.
8 o'clock or 8:30 we'll start to make the dough for the pasta. We never do the dough the day before. We always like to do everything fresh from the morning, especially on the pastas.